Hi-ho, EDLS 710 candidates. It's Dr. Palermo, and I'm recording this on June 12th. It is the beginning of week 4 of our 10-week summer class, and I wanted to comment a little bit on the Learning for Leadership text and some of your assignments for this week. So it'll be brief, but bear with me if you will. In Learning for Leadership, Ellie is moving into part 2 of this book that is sharing leadership lessons and learning from leaders. By way of explanation, and if you didn't catch this in the beginning, has been teaching these leadership practices and the pillar practices for a while, but also had the opportunity to do some research with practicing leaders, principals, and others. And dozens or hundreds of folks have contributed their ideas and their practices to this text. So part 2, Lessons and Examples from Leaders in the Field, starts here with chapter 4. And so it's stories. Now, I find stories interesting, and like Ronald Reagan would tell stories. I tell stories myself to try to illustrate points. Ellie is doing the same thing here. She is illustrating some of the pillar practices with lessons and learning from leaders. So I hope that you find that interesting. It's pretty light reading, not real challenging, but I think that, again, it's deep stuff when you compare it to your own practice and when you think about these leaders and what they have learned. So there are some reflective questions on page 107, and number 1 is your discussion post. What stands out for you is one important learning from this chapter. So as you're reading these leadership lessons and stories from other leaders, what is your takeaway? What's one big aha or takeaway for you? And share it with others, and then respond as you would like. It's not required that you respond to others, but that's up to you. Now, as far as the writing this week, you're completing the 3rd part of this 3-part journey into self. Identifying your values, identifying your belief statements, and now it's leadership principles, which would be values and beliefs in action. If you had to frame many of the principles that you try to that guide your leadership practice, state them as I lead by example, or I will know myself and seek self-improvement, that kind of thing. I have enjoyed reading your belief statements. Not everybody has loaded one as of early Tuesday, but God will provide is a belief that was reflected here. Real men don't quit is the way I want to sum up Denny's beliefs. Persistence, grit is the way he titled it, I think, but real men don't quit. That was my editorializing there. Oh, and I see that most of you, not all, have now loaded an outline or an idea about your systems analysis plan. Now, the idea of loading it last week in the as a discussion board and then providing some feedback is to both give you an idea of what others are doing and might guide your practice, but then also to provide some reflective feedback to your peers. Please do that if you haven't already. Last week in week 3, I asked you to post that in the discussion board and provide some feedback. This week, by the end of the week, so I'm recording this again on Tuesday, by next Tuesday, June 9th, please have your SAP-A loaded here in Blackboard for me to review. It will be a formative assessment. I will give it a grade, but it's primarily feedback so that you can polish it and I hope improve on it prior to posting the full SAP. Now, I'd like you to continue to work on those, and I'd like you to bring some drafts of the next parts to our next face-to-face meeting. So keep working on that SAP. That's your big evidence for this summer, and keep working on that and see if you can't bring some pieces to share with others and to polish prior to going to TaskStream. Bring it to our face-to-face in June so that you can kind of be done with that before the CILD conference, before the end of the semester. So reflecting and writing about your leadership practice, reading in the Learning for Leadership text, and reflecting on Chapter 4. I still don't know exactly what I want to do with this coaching idea, but we're going to do something with it when we're meeting face to face. And SAP. Yeah, write to me, call if you have any questions. I have at least one piece of feedback that suggested that in lieu of that canceled Friday class, June 22nd, I think, that I might schedule individual Zoom sessions with you as dissertation advice. And so that was a good suggestion, and I'm inclined to do that. Step up if you're ready to have a conference with me about your dissertation and progress. It's time for us to have some individual coaching conversations there. I am seeing some good proposals this summer. Some of my other interns are at the proposal phase, and I think I'm going to bring one of them to our face-to-face session to share with you. Might also interview the candidate. I'll let you know her name is Danielle Greer. She's an employee in Cleveland County Schools, and she's about ready to go research her summer academy. It's a program evaluation, and I think that with some polishing, because our committee gave her some feedback, with some polishing, Danielle's got an exceptional proposal that will lead then to an exceptional program evaluation / dissertation. It's a dissertation, it's a program evaluation. It is also mixed methods, combining some quantitative and qualitative aspects. So we'll talk about that some more, but if you're ready to talk with me about your work and want some direction, give me a buzz, drop me a line, and we'll schedule some time. Thanks. I hope you have a great week. I hope school is done and you're out now and can focus a little bit more on your graduate work. See you soon. Bye.